Good morning. All right, y'all are gonna start by just swinging your arms back and forth. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Feel free to close your eyes. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. They shouldn't be hunched up close to your neck. Breathe now, add to that motion. Go ahead and make sure your feet are wider than hip width apart. Toes are slightly pointed out and add in the squat down as your arms cross over. Now I'm alternating which arm goes in front and which is behind. You don't have to go into a full squat, but make sure your weight is in your heels and you're not leaning forward, right? You're leaning back into your hips. You're pushing that backside towards the wall. Feel free again here to close your eyes. Focus on breathing, how to control your breath. 2 seconds in, 4-second exhale. That'll pretty much be the breathing pattern I want you to keep throughout as best you can. Pick up the pace just a little bit. Still alternating arms, front and back. Keeping our shoulders loose. Breathe. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Put your hands in the front of your heart. Inhale, close your eyes. Exhale, drop your shoulders down. Inhale, lift and lengthen that spine. Exhale, drop them down. Inhale and exhale. Regain control of that breath. You're going to hinge forward from your hips. So hinging down, keeping that back nice and lengthened. You're not rounding it. You're not tucking your tailbone under. You're going to keep it untucked. Lean forward as far as you can go, hinging from your hips. Don't worry about your legs being straight. Lift up, lengthen up towards the ceiling. Back down again, hinging from those hips. Up and down. Up and down. Now as you come up, tuck your tailbone. Get that core engaged. Then lean forward again. Breathe. Two more. One more up. Coming to the end of your mat if you're not there already. Doing the exact same thing, but we're going to be adding a walkout portion to it. So you're lengthening up towards the ceiling. Hinge from those hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Come down into a plank. Breathe. Walk back up. Lengthen. Hinge from your hips. Come out, plank, and walk back. Every time I go into a plank, I'm keeping my tailbone tucked. So it's going to look like I'm not doing a standard plank where I'm parallel to the ground because I want to keep my tailbone tucked, making my abs engage even more. Breathe. Hinge. Back. Now we're adding to this now. So coming forward. When you come down, you're going to go into mountain climbers. You're going to be doing 10. So go as fast or as slow as you need to. Once you're here, you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Walk back up. You would do the same thing if you need to, just slower. If the pace is a little too fast, then just bring in, instead of hopping, just step a leg in, step a leg out, step a leg in, step a leg out. You don't have to go as fast. Reach up. Lengthen, come down. That would look like this. Slow mountain climbers would look like that. All right, for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Walk back out. Breathe and lengthen. Back down. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Walk back out. And lengthen up. Back down. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Walk back out. And up. Back down again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Walk out. Breathe, lengthen up and down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lengthen up. Back down again. We're doing a lot, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Walk out. Lengthen up. Breathe. Hinge forward. And down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Walk it back. We're going to do 2 more. Lengthen up. Come down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Walk back. We're almost done, guys. 1 more round. Lengthen up. Down. Last 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And rest. Drop to your knees. Come into a child's pose. Now, if I counted correctly, which I am an artist, so, counting is not my strong suit, that should have been 10 rounds, which you just did 100 mountain climbers. So, let's breathe, rest, that head on the ground. Arms can go out front or back behind you if that's more comfortable. Two more breaths. Lift up. You're going to take your left leg, bring it forward. Now that your legs are super warmed up after that 100 rep of, I'm still out of breath, 100 reps of mountain climbers, you're going to stretch your quad now. So what I want you to do is really focus on what your hips are doing. I don't want your butt to be sticking back. I want you to tuck that tailbone under so you have a nice line from your back into your hips and into your leg. Now, this alone is going to stretch your hip flexor and you're already going to feel it in your quad. If you want to take it a level higher, go ahead and bring this back leg up, grab it, but don't do this. Don't curve that back. Keep that tailbone tucked. Ooh, ooh. You'll feel it right away. So keep that tailbone tucked the whole time. As you bring that leg up, if it's hard to balance, hold on to something. Or, like you said, if you have a wall right by you, you can just hold on to it. Breathe. Another way of doing it, if it's too hard to bring that leg up, is just reach up while you keep that tailbone tucked and lean to the side of this leg. So you're leaning towards this. You have a nice arc on this side. Breathe. Bring that leg back. Other leg forward. Remember, tuck that tailbone under. The no butt. You got no butt in this movement. But you want your hips to be tucked under. It's not an attractive look. Let me just say that. Tuck it under. Bring up that leg if you choose to. Otherwise, keep it tucked. Lean, reach and lean over to the side. Okay? So tailbone tucked. Bringing that leg up, using the wall if you have it nearby. Whew. Breathe. Keeping it tucked, keeping it tucked. And this kind of stretch is you're holding it for as long as you feel comfortable. So if you do for a couple of seconds, it's just like unbearable. You can't catch your breath because you're so uncomfortable. It's not worth holding it because you're probably not holding it totally correctly anyways. So tap out at any point. And instead, do that reaching one, which is a little bit easier to do. All right, let's bring our legs back. We're gonna be doing lots of stuff for our legs and our hips today, along with shoulders, just because we're gonna be balancing so much. So the first thing that we're gonna go into now is gonna be this plank rotation with I call it a hip dip, because you're gonna drop your hips to the ground. So you're gonna come onto your forearms. You can do this on your hands if you want, but you're gonna find that it's gonna be more challenging when you do the hip dip part because you need to be somewhat close to the ground. So come into a plank. Now I'm not dropping my hips down. I'm keeping, and I'm not flaring my booty out, right? I'm keeping my tailbone tucked. So you see that roundness in my back. I'm gonna keep that tailbone tucked. I'm gonna rotate to the side, open, and then I'm gonna drop my hip down. I'm gonna take you through a couple of different variations of this. Dropping my hip down, lifting it up. If I wanna be extra and do more, I'm gonna lift my leg at the same time, drop back down. Okay, so up, lift, drop back down. Otherwise, I'm just lifting here, dropping back down, and lifting. Or I am here, leg is bent in front, leg on top is straight, and I'm lifting, using that side glute to lift here. Okay, we're gonna do 3 per side, and then we're gonna rotate to the other side. So I have done my 3, so choose which one you wanna do, if it's gonna be the full-on version or if it's gonna be one of the modified versions. Okay, so lifting up, rotating to the side of your choice. Again, lifting that leg if you choose to, and you can also do that leg lift in the kneeling portion as well. All right, so once you're done with your 3, you're gonna rotate over. Breathe, rotate to the other side. Down, up, lift that leg. Down, up, lift that leg. Down, up, lift the leg. Rotate back to the other side. Down, up, lift the leg. That's 1, that's 2, that is 3. Rotate to the other side. Adjust as necessary. Down and up, down, up, down, up. Rotate to the other side. We have 1 more round on each side. Breathe, lift, down, lift, down, and lift. Good, rotate, other side, down, lift, good, 1 more, breathe, rotate, drop those knees, active child's pose, so you're gonna bring your hips back, and then you're gonna come forward, hips back. Stretching out your lat as you do this whole side part, and your serratus into your ribs. Breathe. My knees are a little wider than my width apart because that's comfortable for me, but you can have your legs closer together or even further apart. It just depends on how it feels when you go back. Breathe. Good, keep going. Stretch it out. Coming forward into that plank, go right back into it, rotate to the side, drop down, whichever variation you're doing. Doing again 3 per side. 2, 3, rotate. Up. Rotate. Go at your own pace. You know you're going to be doing 3 and you're doing 3 rounds per side. Okay, so if you need to go a little bit slower, if you want to go a little bit faster, that's okay. That's it. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Good. One more time on each side. Up. Good. Rotate to this side and then we rest. Rotate and rest. If your hips are feeling tired, something that's good while we rest to do is stagger your knees. So step one knee underneath your hip. The other knee is just coming back. This knee that's back is just going to be there for support. Because as I'm holding this, my knee that's forward, I'm going to lean towards that side. Imagine your femur is coming out. It's poking out the top part. I know it sounds kind of gross and weird, but you're imagining that femur is pulling up and outside the leg as you lean into it. This actually helps to stretch your hip socket, which is gonna feel tight after all the hip stuff we've been doing. Breathe. Let's bring the other knee up. Remember, stacking this knee now, that's gonna lean underneath your hip, bringing back the other leg so it's staggered back, okay? It's not really doing anything. It's just getting out of the way so you can focus on this leg that's in front. Lean to the side, imagining that femur pushing out the top of that hip. And breathe. I'm like still out of breath from all the mountain climbers that we did at the very beginning. I did this to myself. Lean and breathe. All right, we are gonna do one more round of those hip rotation or plank rotations with the hip drops or hip dips. So coming forward, if you're feeling ready, if you feel like you need a little longer break, hang out in child's pose for a couple of breaths and then jump into it. We're doing, again, 3 leg lifts per side and 3 rounds per side, okay? So if you need to go a little slower, if you need to go a little faster, once you're done with those 3 reps on each side, 3 rounds, then you're good to go. You can rest in child's pose. All right, coming forward onto our forearms, bringing it out, rotate to the side. Remember, if you need to drop that knee, you can still do the leg lift part with that knee drop to the ground, okay? You don't have to have both feet or both hips elevated. You can have the one knee dropped. All right, lifting. That's 1. Keep that chest open. I don't want you leaning forward like this. You should be in a nice line. Good, rotate. Down, up, down, up. Rotate, back, drop, down, up, down, up, down, up. Good. Rotate back, down, up, down, up, down, up. Ooh, I'm getting so tired. I don't know about y'all. All right, last round on each side. Up. Good, breathe. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. Ooh. The burn is real, right? All right, up. Open. Up. Open. Last rep. And rest. Drop those knees. Either child's pose or going back into that same stretch we did last time. Your call. I'm going to stack that one knee underneath my hip. Bring back the other one. Drop to the side of that knee that's in front. Focusing on that feeling that my femur is pushing out towards my hip. Close your eyes. I want you to focus on inhaling for 2 seconds, exhaling for 4 seconds. Let's calm our heart rates down. Let's calm our breathing down. There is a point that we can all control how our body reacts. So when we feel under stress or feeling out of breath, we just need to take a moment to refocus. Focus on inhaling and exhaling. Focus on the thing that you can control, which is our breathing, right? So much happens outside of our realm of control that is just part of life, that we can only really control certain things. So let's control our breathing and let's help our body recover. Let's switch legs. Bring this other knee up, other knee staggers, drop to the side. Femur, again, imagining that I'm pulling it out of this hip. You should already feel your heart rate starting to come down. This is a really good practice, not just in yoga, but anytime you're exercising with or without weights. You need to be able to control your breathing after you do a set where your heart rate really jumps up. Breathe. Good. Bring it back. All right, we're coming all the way up to our feet. We're keeping the intensity up. We're going to be doing some pyramid sets of walkouts to pop squats or just regular squats. So I'll show you what that looks like. We're going to do it all the way up until 10 reps, but we're only doing 1 round of this. It's not going to be 3 rounds, so just 1 round and then you're done. But you're going to be walking out, so you're going to start at the top part of your mat, walk out like you would normally do into a plank. You're going to walk back, and when you walk back, you're going to do 1, come up onto your toes, or just stay 1. But one thing I want you to notice when you're doing a squat, please don't let your knees come forward. It's your butt and your hips that are driving you back. Imagine there's a rubber band pulling your hips back. That's the motion that you want to have before you start the squat. My knees really aren't going to be doing anything. They shouldn't do very much in a squat. They're just part of it. So they will let you bend, but they shouldn't be doing the main bending. It should be your hips pulling back and generating the movement. All right, so we're lifting up, hinging from those hips, okay? Walking out, holding here. If you want to be even more, you can add a push-up in if you want to, but I will let that be up to y'all. Come up, you're gonna come down onto your toes, hold this squat now, come back down, plank, walk back up, 1, 2, hold the squat, walk down, up, 1, 2, 3, holding it, walking back, 1, 2, 3, 4, walk out, walk back, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that chest lifted. Breathe. We got 6, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk it out. We got 7, guys. Just breathe. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Feeling the burn, right? 8, walk it back, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk it out. Breathe, walk it back. You got 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk it out. Oh, we were almost there, guys. 10. Let's do it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ah. Remember that free thing I was just talking about? Now's a good time. Close your eyes. Walk around a little bit. Don't go into a child's pose yet. You want to keep the blood flowing in your legs. Breathe in, 2 seconds. Exhale for 4. Let's bring that heart rate down. Helps to put your hands behind your head. Keep that chest and those lungs nice and open. Yeah, the good news is 1 round and done with those. We're still breathing. I'm still breathing. I really want to get better at cardiovascular health. And I'm not gonna lie, cardio is not my strong suit, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better. All right, we're just like throwing a lot of hate at the legs today, I feel like. Not hate, a lot of love. You're throwing a lot of love at the legs, making you nice and strong so you can't walk upstairs. That's the goal. All right, you're gonna come to the end of your mat. You're gonna be holding that squat position, and these are called monster walks, and you'll see why in a second, because as I'm doing it, I'm gonna kind of look like a little monster walking along. So feet are wider than hip width apart. Make sure as you're doing this and you're walking, your knees don't fall in. We wanna actively push our knees out and away against our midline. So you're pushing your knees out away from your body. Don't let them fall in. Okay, we don't want legs that fall in, we want them to push out. So as you're doing this, legs are wider than hip width apart. Sink back into those hips. You do not need to go all the way into a squat. You can come into a partial squat. So you're gonna come down, not rounding your back, keeping your chest lifted. Hands can go on your hips, they can go on your head. You can just let them hang, whatever you want. I'm gonna hold mine out in front, and you're gonna take a walk forward like this, hold the stance the whole time, small steps all the way to the end of your mat, and then you're gonna go backwards, trying to keep those knees pushing out. All right, hold that stance, walk again. And back. I'm pushing my weight in my heels still, pushing it back into my hips. Breathe. All right, come all the way up. Bend forward, walk onto the ground, lower yourself all the way to the ground. We're hitting legs in a different way now. You're gonna bring your legs up, so bend your knees. Breathe. You're gonna rest your head on the ground, and I want you to drive your heels up towards the ceiling, and then you're gonna open your legs again away from your body. So you're trying to get your quads to come off the ground as best you can. So pushing my heels up, Quads off the ground, head is rested, and then I'm opening up my legs. All right, opening up the legs, bring it back in, and rest. Pushing heels up towards the ground, opening up my legs, bring it back, and rest. Up, open, breathe, back, and rest. Push those heels up, open, back, and rest. Up, open, back, rest. 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. And rest. Breathe, breathe, breathe. We are going to be doing some more of the walks and at least another round of this one. So give yourself just a second, and then you're going to walk back up, go back into those monster walks, and then another round of these. Then we're going to do some stretches for our hips. All right, so come all the way up, however you can get there. Coming down, holding that low squat, right? Walking, 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 and back. Keep that low stance. Of course, if you want to go lower, you can. One more down, and one more back. Push those knees out away from you. All right, coming up, hinging forward, coming all the way down. Rest that head on those hands. Heels come up, we got 10 of these, and then we are done with the work. All right, push those heels up, open to the sides. Bring it back. Push those heels, open to the side. Breathe. We got 5 more. Good. 2 more. Ooh, and rest. Close your eyes. Breathe in for 2 seconds. Out for 4. Alright, come up. You're going to bring start with our left leg forward, back leg. Right now my knee is stacked underneath my hip, but it's not going to stay that way because when I come forward, I'm going to push into those hips, and this one is going to be stretched out, so you can probably see that it's stretched out. Now, as I'm doing that, I want to draw this knee out to the side, but I'm not letting my foot come off the ground, so hold on to this foot and drop that knee out to the side. Feel free to close your eyes. Breathe nice and deep. Again, that 2-second inhale, 4-second exhale. Breathe, breathe, breathe. We're gonna hold this one for at least another couple more breaths. I love how the end of all of these, my hair is just like, goes crazy at it. Relax your shoulders. Try as best you can to relax those hips. All right, now shift your weight back. So I'm shifting my weight in my hips. So this knee is now going to be stacked directly underneath my hip. I'm still holding on to this foot and still trying to draw this knee out. You're not gonna have as much range of motion in this way, and it's not locked out. You can see my knee is slightly bent. Let me go to the side just so you can see it a little bit better. Knee is stacked. Leg is slightly bent because I can't straighten it out all the way with my knee driving out to the side, but we want to drive that knee, try to drive it away from that body. Again, stretching out your hip socket and the deep parts of your hip. Breathe. Try to go back a little further if you can, still not letting that foot open up to the side. Good. Swing it back. Bring your right leg, or if you started with your right leg and now with your left like me, just switch legs. Leaning into that hip, letting this knee fall to the side. Driving it out. I feel my hip flexor more in this stretch than I do in my hip, and on the other side I feel it in my hip more. So every side is different, how they feel stretches or how they even feel workouts. So don't be surprised if this one side feels a little different than the other side. Breathe. Driving that knee out. All right, shift that weight back. Still driving that knee out. Still holding onto that foot. Now I feel it more in my hip than I did before, definitely. Breathe. And release. Come onto your back. Go ahead, grab your knees, rotate in some circles. Make sure you go both directions. Inhale again, 2 seconds, 4-second exhale. Feel free to close your eyes. Drop those feet to the mat, to the ground. Feet are on the edges of your mat, just let your knees drop in towards one another. Keep your eyes closed. I want you to take 5 nice deep breaths here. And then you'll be all finished.